Yeah, those online games, the ones that just explode virally, where like split-second timing can mean these huge wins. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into one that's really rocketed up there for crypto casino players. It's called Spaceman. And this isn't just, another game. It's a specific take on that popular crash game idea. Think Bitcoin Aviator, maybe. But this one's got a twist, comes from a really big developer. So our mission today, unpack Spaceman. What is it? How does it actually work? And crucially, what are the specific strategies players are using to, well, try and maximize their winnings? We're going to cut through the noise, get right to the heart of it. So let's set the scene a bit. Spaceman, it's definitely made a mark kind of evolving that whole crash game thing in the crypto space. It's got this broad appeal, and what's really interesting is that you're not passive. Your choices directly affect the game. But what really makes it stand out from, say, other crash games?
Yeah, that's a great question. The big difference, it kind of jumps right out at you. Spaceman is made by Pragmatic Play. Now, these guys are huge, known for tons of really top quality slots, so it's not some small outfit or an in-house casino job, which you see a lot with crypto crash games. And that usually brings two main problems, right? One, players kind of worry, is this fair? Is it safe if the casino built it themselves? And two, honestly, the graphics are often pretty basic, very simple. Spaceman just tackles both of those head on. Pragmatic Play, they're a known entity, dominant, proven. That gives players a lot more confidence, and they've clearly used their resources. It's super colorful, really enjoyable, modern visuals. It feels polished like they're slot games. You actually want to look at it. Plus, it's multiplayer. You see what others are doing. There's chat. It adds this whole layer of excitement, and the potential win. Max is 5,000x. So yeah, high stakes, definitely tempting.
Okay, so it's more than just a simple animation. We're talking trust, solid developer, good looks, interaction. Does that interaction fundamentally change how people play, though? Or is it more about feeling like you have some control?
Well, it definitely boosts the feeling of control and just the overall enjoyment, which is key, right? Seeing others, the nice graphics, it makes the whole thing more engaging. But let's be clear, the core mechanic is still chance. It's a crash game. What the good development does guarantee, though, is fairness. That builds trust. And that lets players actually focus on their strategy instead of worrying if the game itself is, rigged.
Right, that makes sense. Trust first, then strategy.
Mm.
Okay, so we know why it stands out. But the real action, the excitement, starts when that little astronaut takes off. Can you walk us through a typical round? And maybe more importantly, what tools do players actually have to manage those super fast decisions?
Absolutely. So a round kicks off pretty simply. You place your bet. You've got options, new bet, repeat the last one, double it, or even set up autoplay. Then the astronaut starts climbing right from 1.00x. As it goes higher, the multiplier increases. Longer flight, bigger potential payout. Simple enough. But here's the catch, the core of the game. You have to cash out before the astronaut crashes. If you don't hit that button in time, boom, your bet for that round is gone. And that leads us to the key features for strategy. First up, the main cash out button. That's your direct control. Hit it when you're happy with the multiplier, or maybe more importantly, when your gut says crash incoming.
Right.
But then there's the cash out 50% feature, and this is where things get really interesting for strategic players.
Cash out 50%. That sounds potentially quite powerful. How are experienced players actually using that? It feels like it could really change how you approach the risk in a single round.
Oh, it absolutely does. It's almost a psychological tool as much as a mechanical one. A really common tactic. Hit that 50% cash out right when the multiplier reaches 2.00x. Think about what that does. You've instantly recovered your entire initial bet. Everything's still in the game now. That's pure profit. It's like playing with house money. That completely shifts how you feel about the risk, right? Suddenly, you might be willing to let the rest ride, chasing those much bigger multipliers because your original stake is safe. It turns that fear of losing into a strategic edge. And you can even set this up with the auto cash out function too.
Oh, yeah, I can see how that would change your mindset. So you've got the manual cash out, the 50% split. What about automation?
Yep, there's the standard auto cash out feature. This is super useful for discipline. You just preset a multiplier, say 2x, 5x, whatever your target is. When the astronaut hits that number, the game automatically cashes you out. In a fast game like this, where things happen in seconds, it stops you from missing your target because you blinked or got distracted.
Okay, automation for discipline, the 50% for de-risking. What else does the game show you to help with these quick decisions? Is there useful info on screen?
Yeah, definitely. You get quite a bit of info. You can see the results of the last 20 rounds. There's even a button to see the last 500 rounds if you really want to dive deep, though we'll talk about the usefulness of that later. You can also see what other players are betting and when they cash out. There's the chat tab, Support access, it's pretty transparent, creates a bit of a community feel, watching the action together.
Right, so the tools are there. But how do players move beyond just clicking buttons and actually develop a winning approach? What are the main strategies they're using to manage risk and play smarter, not just rely on luck?
Okay, yeah, let's dig into that. It really boils down to applying specific tactics with discipline. The very first one, and honestly maybe the most underrated, just watch the game. Seriously. Before you put any real money down, just spend a few minutes, maybe longer observing rounds. Don't bet, just watch. Get a feel for the rhythm, how often it crashes early, how often it goes high. It's about gathering your own, baseline data, not looking for patterns, just observing.
Okay, so observation first, then what? Using those features we talked about.
Exactly, harnessing that automation. The auto cash out feature is key for a basic strategy. Just set it to a target you're comfortable with. Maybe it's 2x, maybe 5x, maybe even higher, like 20x if you're feeling bold. This forces discipline. It makes you stick to your plan, and it means you don't have to be glued to the screen every single second, which can actually help prevent impulsive clicks driven by excitement or fear.
And I guess that 50% cash out feature really comes into play in more advanced thinking, too.
Oh, massively. The strategic value of the cash out 50% feature is huge. Like we said, using it to lock in your initial bet, often at that 2.0x mark, lets you play with profit. It changes the whole dynamic. It helps you manage those emotional swings, lets you chase bigger wins sometimes, but with less pressure because your initial money is safe. It's a fantastic tool for managing your session.
Now, you hear about betting systems all the time. Martingale is probably the most famous one. Does that actually apply here in Spaceman?
Yeah.
And what are the real dangers?
Yeah, the martingale strategy. Everyone knows the basics. Double your bet after every loss until you win. The idea is to recoup all your losses plus one initial bet unit. So in Spaceman, say you set auto cash out to $2 zero max, you bet $2, you lose. Next round, you bet $4, lose again, bet $8. If that $8 bet wins, you get $16 back. Your total bets were $2 plus $4 plus the $8 plus $14. You won $16, so you recovered the $14 and made a $2 profit. Sounds good, right? But the massive crucial warning, you need a deep bankroll. A string of losses, and they do happen, means doubling gets very expensive very fast. You can wipe out your funds quick if you hit a bad run.
Right, that exponential increase is the killer. High risk, potential reward, but only if you have the cash to back it up. What about the flip side? The reverse martingale.
Exactly, the reverse martingale strategy. This flips it completely. Instead of doubling after a loss, you double after a win. So you win your $2 bet at $2x. Great. Next round, you bet $4. Win again. Bet $8. The idea is to press your advantage during winning streaks, make them really count. The key difference is, if you lose a bet in the sequence, you immediately drop back down to your original $2 bet. This helps protect the profits you've built up during the streak.
Okay, interesting. So capitalizing on wins instead of chasing losses. But underlying all of this
is bankroll management. Absolutely paramount. Doesn't matter what system you use, martingale, reverse martingale, something else entirely, none of it works if you run out of money. Martingale needs reserves for those losing streaks. Reverse martingale needs you to accept that streaks end and you'll lose sometimes, so you don't give all the winnings back. The golden rule is always, don't bet more than you can genuinely afford to lose, period.
Yeah, that's the bedrock of any kind of gambling, really. And it sounds like tied into that is understanding your own comfort level with risk.
Exactly right. You have to evaluate the risks for yourself. Are you the type who prefers smaller bets, aiming for those huge 50x, 100x multipliers? Or are you happier with bigger bets, trying to reliably hit, say, 1.5x or 2x and cash out quickly? There's no single right way. It's about what fits your style and bankroll. And honestly, successful players often are content with small gains. The ones who consistently bank small wins, cashing out regularly, often do better over time than players always chasing that one massive jackpot. Experienced players might go for the big multipliers, yeah, but usually only after they've already built up some profit in the session. They manage the risk.
Okay, so lots of tactical options, discipline, bankroll management. But it still sounds like people might be looking for that magic bullet, that secret trick.
Yeah.
What are the big mistakes or misconceptions people need to absolutely avoid?
Right, this is critical. The biggest one. You absolutely do not focus on previous results. People see the history display, oh, it crashed early 5 times in a row, it's due for a big one. That thinking is flawed. Why? Because Spaceman runs on a certified random number generator, an RNG. Think of it like a perfect coin slip machine. Every single round is independent. What happened last round or the last 500 rounds has absolutely zero impact on what happens next. Zero. That history display, it's just data, maybe interesting but not predictive. Believing otherwise leads to bad decisions, usually driven by emotion, getting greedy after a win or chasing losses. That's exactly why features like auto bet and auto cash out are so helpful. They take emotion out of it.
So ignore the history board for predictions. Got it. What else? Any, like, scams people should watch out for?
Oh, definitely. The big one is the Spaceman Predictor scam. You'll see software or apps claiming they can predict when the crash will happen. Let me be crystal clear. These are 100% scams. They just spit out random numbers that have no connection to the actual game. Think about it. If a real predictor existed, Pragmatic Play's reputation would be ruined. Casinos offering the game would go bankrupt overnight. The only goal of these predictor tools is to get your money, either by charging you for the useless software or just by making you lose faster based on bogus predictions. Avoid them like the plague.
That seems like solid advice across the board for these kinds of games.
Yeah.
You mentioned big bass crash strategy earlier. Is that just reinforcing the same ideas? Disciplined play, ignoring fake predictors.
Pretty much, yeah. The Big Bass Crack strategy, while for a different specific game, really hammers home the same core principles we've been talking about for Spaceman. Strict bankroll management, making decisions based on your strategy, not emotion, and understanding the randomness. It's not some secret formula, just disciplined application of common sense betting principles.
It really is fascinating how Spaceman takes what seems like a very simple idea, watch a multiplier go up,
Yeah.
and adds these layers of strategy, interaction, and even psychology. It does feel like a genuine step forward for crash games.
Yeah, summing it up, Spaceman provides this really engaging, quite thrilling experience where strategy feels important, even though it's ultimately a game of chance. Using things like martingale, reverse martingale, or especially that clever 50% cash out feature, it can give you a sense of control, add excitement. But, and this is the big but you always have to remember, like any casino game, Spaceman has a negative expected value for the player long term. That just means the underlying math gives the house a small edge over time. Strategies help you manage your sessions, maybe hit some nice wins, control variance, but they don't overcome that fundamental house edge in the long run. Stable, guaranteed long-term profit isn't realistic. That said, the potential for a big single win is there. Hit that 5,000x max multiplier. With even a small bet like 0.001 BTC, you're looking at a potential 5 BTC win, so the thrill is real.
That's a really crucial distinction. Manage your play, enjoy the strategy, hope for wins, but understand the long-term odds. It's about playing smart within a system based on chance, not trying to beat the system itself.
Exactly. So here's something to think about. Given this mix, right? Strategic tools on one hand, pure randomness on the other, and knowing for sure that past results mean nothing for the future. How might really focusing on that disciplined bankroll management and keeping your emotions in check redefine what winning actually means for you when you play a dynamic game like Spaceman? Is it just the final payout number, or could winning also be about playing smart, staying in control, and enjoying the process itself?